Welcome to English with a Twist, Wednesdays with EWAT, folks. It's Shanti Kumaraswamy Street calling in from London to the rest of the world. I'm wondering whether one, you can hear me, two, we're going live, and three, that you can see me and hear me. Today I'm wearing my earphones because there's a bit of background noise outside and some people are doing some work, and I just making sure that you can't hear all that background noise. I can see that Rosie has joined. That is wonderful. Let me know where you're from. Come in, tell me who you are. If you're my regular, say hi. I missed you guys because it's been 2 weeks since the last time I saw you. That was because last week I had to go to the south of Italy for a business meeting and I was flying, so I couldn't have this class. But great to be back. So this is lesson 29 of Wednesdays with EWAT. Hi Elian, how are you? Where are you from? Let me know. Let's do the get to know each other moment, okay? Let's spend about a few minutes doing that because I always love to know where all of you are from and how you're doing, where it is, what time it is for you. And in the meantime, I'm going to check on my Facebook page who's signing in and who's coming in. So what's it like where you are today? It's a lovely day in London. It is round about 28 degrees, I think. In fact, at the moment, I have a French client staying with us on an intensive course. I'm working with him on an important job interview he's having in the next week or so. So we're working intensively on how to get him really confident to be ready for that interview. And he said to me today, he said, if I'd known, I would have brought my shorts, but I always think that in England summer doesn't exist, and so consequently he's here ill prepared for this wonderful weather we're having. But it'll last only for about 2 days, I think. I think the forecast is already for rain tomorrow. But there you go. Hello Roberto, hi from my family and my fans in Malaysia. Somebody else told me, Diana, hi, where are you from? Let me see, let me just refresh my Facebook page. Bonjour ma petite. My mom is fluent in so many languages: English, Spanish, French, Italian of course, and from Algeria, Emma from Algeria. Pranjal, no, don't worry, you're late joining. It's no problem. I was slightly late actually because I was just preparing something. I had to send an email to a client very quickly. So great to see you all, folks. So we have an interesting lesson here today, and I was thinking about this, and let me just see who joined. Pranjal from India, Emma from Algeria. There was someone else who came in and I just can't remember. Mahmoud, where are you from? Hiya, that's very, very informal. Hiya. Zita from Romania. Hi Zita, nice to see you again. Yeah, great guys. I'm so glad you're making it. So are you at the end of your day, or in the middle of your day, or you're at the beginning of your day? So people in the States, I think you'll be in Canada, you'll be starting your day. If you're in India, I think you're towards the end of your working day. In Malaysia, it's definitely end of the working day. Italy, Europe, you're an hour or two ahead of us. So in London, it's 3 o'clock. You guys will be about 4, 5. Ale Marie, is that how I pronounce it? Hello. Pranjal, you're going straight to the point. I like it. What is the focus today? So let's get straight into it. But before I go straight into it, I wanted to remind all of you to check out my brand new homepage on EnglishWithATwist.com because I'm super excited. My brother, who's this super great marketing guy, we have been working solidly for the last few weeks to get a new look on my homepage, and it's really great. It's It's much more interactive, and I'd love you to have a look at it. So do check it out, englishwithatwist.com. But not only that, I want you, if you have not done so yet, to sign up to join the EWAT community of professionals, because that is where you are going to get not only 1 but 4 bonuses from the EWAT community. So check it out. One bonus is the e-guide, my special ebook for you, and the other 3 bonuses are my weekly lessons that I deliver to you in your inbox directly every Friday, which are my blog posts and audio blogs. So not only do you get to read the blog, you also get to listen to it. And second is this class live lessons, because if you can't watch it live, you get to see the recording, so it tells you all about it, and you get to see the back catalog. And finally, my business idioms. So my business idioms, which is the huge resource library for you to access all the different business idioms that I deliver every week on Mondays, which are 1-minute videos to give you a flavor of business idioms that you are likely to hear and read in the business world. So, make sure that you sign up to get these bonuses and much more, because this is where I'm developing this EWAT community. So join. I've had, since we had the new homepage, loads more people have signed up. So I'm thrilled, and I want to welcome any of the EWAT community new members who are here, who are listening to this class. So talking of idioms, ciao Gabriela, how are you? Marianne, lovely to see you. Hello from... What's that flag? I'm really bad with flags. Do tell me where it is they're from. Gabriela, and thank you so much for signing up to the EWAT community and becoming a member of that EWAT community. Lovely to have you here. So, talking idioms, today we are actually going to be covering business idioms. We're looking at the world of business idioms, but related to a specific topic. And if you saw the notice I sent about this class, it was all about the topic of change and uncertainty. If you are like me, we're in this world now where there's so much change going on. There's so much uncertainty, because with change, there's a lot of uncertainty that comes with it. And, we always hear about stock markets hate change. We don't like change. And they get scared about change. Mohammed, hi Turkey. And so with change, there's also that uncertainty. And in businesses, if you want to stay in business, if you want to succeed in business, we have to change. For example, you maybe have to have change. Let me ask you a question, and if you want to share this with me in the chat box, tell me, what changes have you experienced in this year alone, in 2017? Since the beginning of the year to now, what has changed in your life, in your business life, in your professional life? Can you tell me in very quick terms, have you seen any changes, or what has changed for you? Let me know. Share with me, please. I'd love to see. It could be something like the way you work. It could be changes in your company. It could be changes in your working routine. Tell me any changes that you have encountered. Share with me in the chat box. I'd love to know. I'm going to be quiet now to see what you share with me in the chat box. What changes have you seen in your professional life, in your business? I'm going to be looking down here to see what changes you have. Type in and tell me. I'm going to have a sip of water whilst we're speaking. Anyone want to share? Changes in your health, Ilian. I started doing exercise. Great. Okay, so now those changes in your health, not healthy. Healthy is an adjective. So in your health, which is the noun. So what did you and doing more exercise? How have you found that in your working life? Has it improved the way you work? Has it given you more energy? Or some of you are saying, no big changes in my life since the beginning of the year. Okay, nothing changed. Maybe small changes you've made in your life since the beginning of the year. What about in your professional life? Same here, changed my diet, started exercising. Great, okay. And have you seen the difference? What has that made you, has it made you perform better in your work? Allows you to concentrate better? Tell me. And what about in your business, in the business world, the way you work, any changes? What about in your companies? Have you seen any changes in the way you do business? Anyone? In the way you work, your routine, maybe you're getting up a bit earlier, maybe you are more focused with your work. Oh, some of you, you're dreaming of leaving the company because it's a bit too small. So Piyusha, you're saying that you, with your change in diet, more exercise, you feel more energized, you are able to concentrate more on your work. So there are these changes, aren't there? And tell me, so it's very interesting. Thank you for sharing. So, when we make these changes, how long did it take you before you made those changes? I mean, had you been thinking about it for a long time? Were you procrastinating? Ooh, that's a long word, so let me write this down for you. Procrastinating. Were you procrastinating, thinking about it and thinking, gosh, I should, but it's going to take me a long time. So you think about it and go, yeah, I really should make these changes, but I'm not sure because, and we all give ourselves the reasons why we can't possibly change, because the reality is that most of us don't like change. Human nature is such that we resist changes to our working practices. If a company decides to make changes in the way they work, they will share that with you as employees. And most of us don't want to make a change. We resist it. Why? Because it just sounds like hard work. Maybe you have to take on board more work, and maybe you don't want that. And that's why I wanted, and we all do that in my business, in English with a Twist. When you're running your own business, you could be following a certain pattern, a certain business model, and then you realize that maybe that business model is not working the way you want it. So then you have to make changes, maybe small, maybe big, but the changes have to be made. You can't resist. Estella, thank you so much for sharing my video. I really appreciate that. And we have to make those changes, because if we don't, if we stand still, we are never going to develop ourselves as people, as professionals, and certainly as a business. You're never going to succeed if you keep doing the way, there's some businesses go, we've always done it this way, we're never going to do another way. Well, yeah, but you then are never going to move ahead with the times, with the changing times. So, so we have to adapt. We have to be adaptable. And, if you've ever applied for jobs, and if you've ever been someone who, companies always look for people who are flexible, who are adaptable. And I'm writing these words now in the chat box. We want to be adaptable, flexible. We're able to adapt to change. We're able to accommodate change. And that's what we're all about, aren't we? Because it is important. So, for example, with me, at the beginning of the year, I launched a book, and it was successful. But then I thought, there must be more. I need to keep adapting, hence the changing my homepage, talking to my brother, looking at ways that I can change the way I work, the way I build my community. And it's constantly changing. And it is exhausting, because change is exhausting. But it can also be, a word I like to use in English is exhilarating. Here, trying to think how I spell it. Exhilarating, because it can energize you. It can make you feel good and think, yeah, this is great, especially if you get good feedback from people. And just like here with these lessons, I want to know whether it's feedback you like, whether you like what I deliver, whether there are things you would like to see more of, and that's what we always do. So in today's class, this is, if you remember when I was sharing with you the notice of this class, I shared with you what the Buddha said. He says, don't be afraid to change. You may lose something good, but you may gain something better. And that's the thing, isn't it? And that's what I think scares us. Maybe something's been good, something is working. But most successful entrepreneurs, if you ever speak to them, they never stop. They're always looking to make changes because something could be better. It might not be, but if we don't try, we don't know. Gabriela, what did you just say? I'm going to look back at your notes. You said, Gabriela says, I've been doing some small changes in my timetable because I've been giving language lessons and really I have little time for my family and friends. Exactly. Teaching takes a lot of time. And it's the same, I keep having to rethink how I work, how I want to work. And, you know, like for example, when I have intensive courses here in London, full immersions, I spend the whole morning teaching. And yes, I could keep going on, but then we have to make adjustments to the way we work to accommodate both what is important in our lives and what isn't. And we constantly keep changing. So that's a great way. Now, we talked about business idioms. So in this class, it's great to talk about change and things, but this was not the point of my class today. What I wanted to do was to share with you 10 business idioms that we do use in connection with change, because when we change, what change also means is uncertainty. It brings uncertainty because it's the unknown. We don't know what's going to happen. And while that is scary, we can also embrace it because we don't know. In life, we don't know what's going to happen. But if we don't take a chance, if we don't try it out, then we don't know. So we need to try. Now, this lesson, I am now going to refer to you these 10 business idioms I want to share with you. And I'm going to share with you the context in which you would see it in English. In order to do that, I want to take you back to a year ago, because this lesson goes back to a year ago when I wrote a blog post. And it's almost a year because it was actually the 1st of July 2016 when I wrote this post. And I want to bring it to you today because it was in connection with the EU referendum that we had here in the UK about whether we wanted to stay in the EU or not. Hi Deepa, lovely to see you. And so if you, some of you may know, some of you may not know, in 2016, on the 24th of June, the UK decided to leave the EU. We had a big referendum and the vote, the results came up very close. It was 51% against 48% of saying 51 voted to go out of the EU and 48% wanted to remain. So it's what we call Brexit. Brexit, exiting the EU. It was a huge shock for me because I was very much about remaining in the EU. I think we are stronger in the EU, but such was life that the decision was made. And I was very upset and disappointed with the UK because for all these years, I've been in the UK for 30 odd years, and for me, it was this huge blow. In other words, it was a huge disappointment for me. And what it brought was a period, and we're still going through it, a period of big change and uncertainty because we don't know what was going to happen now. So I decided to write a blog and share with you 10 business idioms that we would use when we are experiencing change and uncertainty. And the examples I gave in this post, which I will share with you later after this lesson, was to share with you how I would use it. So let's look at business idiom number 1. Is everyone ready? Give me a thumbs up. We're ready to look at this. Number 1, the first business idiom I want to share with you Hello Farang, how are you? Deepa, we're talking about 10 business idioms about change and uncertainty. So the first business idiom, great, good, excellent. The first business idiom is to vote with one's feet. Let me write that down in the chat box. To vote with one's feet. So this is to vote with your feet or with one's feet. And now can you imagine what that means? Now in this situation, I said to you, and this was my example, that was last year 52% of British voters chose to leave the EU. By making that historical decision of leaving the EU, they voted with their feet. In other words, when we use this expression is they decided to do something very different. And in business, we can have similar situations because, for example, if you looked at business and you have shareholders, if you don't agree with something, you can vote with your feet. In other words, you are voting to leave something or to do something very different. So you vote with one's feet is you take an action by voting. So imagine you have an annual general meeting in a big company. They have an annual general meeting. So the annual general meeting may be to be different, to decide whether to keep a CEO or to agree a business plan, to agree something. Now, if you decide that you are against a particular CEO, you're against a particular decision that the company is making, you vote against that decision. In other words, you vote with your feet. You say, no, we don't like that. We want you to do something different. We're not. So you think, oh my goodness, they voted with their feet. So they decided to do something completely different. Now, it could be foolish, like Rosie is saying. Well, we're talking about the Britain. But, you know, it could be that maybe in business, it's the wrong decision. But whatever it is, it's a decision that often is important. It's what the shareholders are telling you. Take another example, for example, maybe you are a retailer, you're a shop, and you have made certain practices that maybe customers don't like. You know, maybe you are employing cheap labor in Bangladesh. Maybe your working practices are not good. And there's been a lot of pressure on you, but you don't take any action. So what your customers do instead is they vote with their feet. What do? They stop buying from your shop. They stop buying from your business. And if they stop doing that, they have voted with their feet. They have made a decision not to support you anymore. So that's how we would use vote with one's feet. So there are different ways. So I'd like you next time that you are reading any business journals, business news, to see if you ever come across this business idiom, see how it's used in business. So that's number one, to vote with your feet. So number two, business idiom number two is a wake-up call. And here it is. This is how it's spelt. Wake-up call. So when you have a wake-up call, now last year with the EU referendum, when something is a wake-up call, does anyone know what that is in English? What does this idiom mean when you get a wake-up call as a business? So here's the example I have. So last year, what had happened was the Conservative Party chose to have this referendum. Now, the decision that the British people made was a wake-up call to the UK government. Because it made the Prime Minister at the time, David Cameron, realize how badly he had misjudged the mood of the nation. He completely misjudged. He thought, I'm going to have this referendum. Everyone's going to vote to stay in the EU. No problem. The decision was so different. It was a wake-up call. So what is a wake-up call? What do you think a wake-up call is? Can someone, I'd like you to share that with me in the chat box. Let me know. What is a wake-up call? When you know, you're a business, you're running a business, and then you have just launched a product. You have spent thousands launching this product in research, in marketing, and then nobody buys that product. And it's a wake-up call. And you think, we misjudged you. Bring you to reality. Okay, good definition, Rosie. Something alerting. Something alerting? Tell me more. So it's a wake-up call. It's a realization. It's like a warning. It's a wake-up call. Think about when you wake up, right? Your alarm goes, it's a wake-up call. And it's a shock. It's a shock to your system. It's a warning. It's like, whoa. Maybe we were not paying attention to our customers or to what our clients were saying, and now we completely misjudged them. It's a wake-up call. Suddenly, pay attention, people. This is what they are asking you to do. So that was a wake-up call. So when something happens in the market, sometimes, you know, it's maybe your something that makes you see you were completely wrong. Exactly, Gabriela. So you're thinking you're doing something, and this is, you know, often in businesses you think, oh yeah, I know what my customers want. I know what my clients want. I know it. So you go ahead, you do it, you ignore what the market is telling you, what your customers are telling you, and suddenly, bang, it all goes against you. And then it's your wake-up call, people. Wake up. There's an expression we also have. Another business expression is wake up and smell the coffee. So you think, oh, people, I think I better start listening to my customers. Yeah? So great. So that's your wake-up call. And so I'd love you, again, have a look, find out where you see that, and look at the context in which wake-up call is used in business. So have you recently had, do you know of a business who's had a wake-up call, maybe from their shareholders, their customers, where they suddenly think, okay, we're now going to have to make a change. So there you go, it's a wake-up call, and suddenly this is your wake-up call to start changing the way you do business. Number 3, business idiom number 3. Is everyone going all right? Please give me a thumbs up that this is going the way you want it to go. Number 3 is to turn back the clock. Okay, I'm going to write this down. To turn back the clock. What do you think it is? Can you turn the clock back? Turn back the clock. What do I mean? So let's take, again, the context of last year. So what is that noise? I'm not too sure what that noise is. Was it my background noise? There's no noise now, so I hope it's not too noisy for you. Okay, turn back the clock. Okay, so I shared this. I said, now, the decision was made. The UK, the British people had voted. They had said, okay, we want to leave. We don't want. And a lot of people are talking about, we need to have a second referendum. We need to do something different. But the decision was made. Excuse me whilst I slip. The decision was made. So you couldn't turn the clock back. You can't turn it back. What is done is done. You now need to move ahead, right? So if something has happened, you can't change it. You can only go forward. You can't turn the clock back. So often we talk about, no, we can't turn the clock back. We've got to go. Yeah, we made that decision. It was a wrong decision. Now we need to do something different. So again, it's to do with change. Turned back, to return back to the past. Yes, you can't turn the clock back. Exactly. Yeah, time goes forward. It doesn't go back. Hence the expression, turn back the clock. We can't turn back the clock. Number 4, business idiom number 4 is moving the goalposts. Now, this comes from, it's a metaphor that comes from football. What happens when you move the goalposts in football? It's going to be very difficult to, you know, if you are trying to score the goal and they keep moving the goalposts, what are they doing? They keep changing. And if you keep changing, it's very difficult for a business to continue, to focus. So in business, I think to come back to a previous situation, but it's not possible. Yes, Gabriella, talking about turning the clock back. By moving the goalposts, so if you imagine, so management, they say 1 minute, okay, so this is the route we're going to take. This is what we're going to do. And then 6 months later, they go, okay, now we're going to do this. And they change. And so now we have to go this way. And you're thinking, well, they keep changing the goalposts. They keep moving the goalposts. I don't know what is happening. You change the rules, yes. Or you change the practice, the working practices. But sometimes that's good, but sometimes they could be doing it too quickly. And if you keep moving the goalposts, everyone loses a sense of direction. Because if you can imagine your your striker is going to try and kick this ball into the goal, and if the goalpost keeps moving, how is he going to strike? How is he going to score? He doesn't know where to go. And so consequently, in business, if you keep moving the goalposts, you keep changing, it's also going to go against you. And also it makes it very difficult to get your employees and your people to stay focused and motivated. So that is, it can be also very, it can work against you. So there you go. So moving the goalpost is another idiomatic expression we associate with change. Yeah, and too much change also brings too much uncertainty, and that's not good for any business. Vera, you're asking me the question, does it solely refer to business? What do you think? Do you think so? Well, could you apply it elsewhere to move a goalpost? Yeah, you can. We can often talk about, you know, I don't know what they're trying to do. Maybe it's a project. Maybe you're in a charity, working for a charity. Yeah, it does. No, because the idea is that you keep changing the focus. And if you keep changing the focus, then it can distract people and it stops them from focusing, from achieving the objectives. So that's, yeah. So yes, we can use it in also contexts that are outside. So for example, last year when I was using that example of the EU referendum, I said that one of the most disturbing elements of the post-EU referendum was the way the Brexit campaigners, so the ones who were voting to leave the EU, they had moved the goalposts. Because what had happened was, during the campaign, they kept telling people that once we leave the EU, we can save £350 million, and that money is going to go into the NHS, into our health service, blah, blah, blah. When then they won the referendum, suddenly they were saying, oh, no, we never said that. We said something else. No, we never said that. Yes, you did, because it was on all the buses. Suddenly they were moving the goalpost and telling us something different. And you think, hold on, we went down this route and now you're changing it and now we have to go this way. So you were changing what you were telling us. So you move the goalposts. Very, very dissatisfying, very unsatisfactory for most people. Okay, number 5. This is an expression I was sharing with my client this week, my French client, which is a leap in the dark. And this is to do with uncertainty. Think about uncertainty. What is a leap? Do you know what a leap is? What is the leap in the dark? Does anyone know what the synonym is of a leap? And here it is. I've written it in the chat box for everyone to see. A leap in the dark. A leap. What is another word for a leap? Can anyone tell me in the chat box? If you take a leap in the dark, what are you doing? A jump. Great, thank you, Rosie. Yes, it's a jump. So a leap is another word for a jump. Exactly, Gabriela. Excellent. Yeah, so imagine you have the abyss. Yeah, the abyss. It's dark. You don't know where you're going, but you take a leap in the dark. You take a leap into the unknown because you don't know what's going to happen. You have no idea. So it's a leap in the dark. Okay, so this business, they've changed direction, and it's like, I don't know what's wrong. That's just, wow, that's such a huge risk. They've taken a leap in the dark because who knows what's going to happen. So when you take a leap in the dark, you take a leap into the unknown, and that's uncertainty. So you can just imagine that's your metaphor, that's your idiomatic picture. Now, some people, and sometimes that's what is required in business or in life. We take a leap in the dark. Sorry, I'm digressing because Rosie just said, like when one gets married. When you get married, it's like a leap in the dark. Yes, good metaphor. Yes, it's uncertain. You don't know. Sometimes, for example, you apply for a job. You might be going into a job where they ask you for certain things that you have to do. And it could be a leap in the dark. Maybe it's something you've never done before. And you decide, well, it's a leap in the dark. I really don't know what to expect, but I'm going to risk it. I'm going to try. Keiko, yes. Keiko is saying, risk of running a new business without knowing anything. Yes, maybe you're new to the whole thing. And you think, okay, it's a leap in the dark. I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to try. What is there to lose? I can just try. And I'm going to learn. It's the same thing with me, making changes in the way I work, in the business, and going online, doing more. It's a leap in the dark because you don't know. But, hey, in life and in business, we need to take risks. And so there we go. So we're going to take risks into the world, into the dark, into the world of the unknown. So great. When was the last time any of you took a leap in the dark? Do you want to share with me? Can you tell us? How did it go? Is it good? Was it scary? It would be scary. But some people love it. So that's a leap in the dark. Great. Wonderful. Okay, we're getting to business idiom number 6, which is up in the air. So this is another business idiom to do with uncertainty. So when everything is up in the air, it's up in the air. So it's up in the air. Where is it going? It could go anywhere. So when we talk about everything is up in the air, everything is uncertain. I don't know, we've been working on this thing. We haven't had a decision from our customers. I don't know what's going on. Everything is up in the air. Everything is chaos. It's chaotic. We have no idea. It's all completely uncertain. And it's a very uncomfortable feeling if things are up in the air. Nothing is sure. Absolutely me. Confusing. Great. Yeah. Synonyms. Everything is up in the air. I have no idea. I don't know what's going on. We haven't heard back from our customers. We haven't heard from the client. We've been working on this project, but everything's up in the air. We don't know. So that's uncertainty. That's uncomfortable. It's horrible. Some people love it, but no, most of us don't. Because we want certainty. Well, at least we want, it's anxiety. Fantastic. Great. Thanks, May. It makes you feel anxious. It's a feeling of anxiety, and most of us don't know. It's in life. What about in life? When if unfortunately you've been given a bad diagnosis in for example with an illness, everything is up in the air. You don't know what the prognosis is going to be, what's going to happen, and that is life. Things can be up in the air, and then it's a question of how do we solve that situation. Yeah, so that's an expression we have. So it's all up in the air. Who knows what's going on? So that's business. And thank you so much, guys. You're doing really well. And thank you so much for your feedback, for your participation. This really works fantastically. Okay, now the other one, the other expression, the other business idiom would be is to be at a crossroad. We are at a crossroad. So imagine a crossroad. You're driving along and then you come to a crossroad. So to be at a crossroad. We often find that it's a metaphor for life also, you know. We've been going on in our lives and then we suddenly get to a crossroad. And what happens in a crossroad, to be at a crossroad? You really don't know which way to turn. Yeah, we don't know where to turn. Right, left, go straight, turn back. What do? So I'm at a crossroad. Life is uncertain. I don't know what to do. Yeah, I'm at a crossroad. The company has come to a crossroad. You know, we're at a crossroad. We do not know what to do. When you're really not sure. Exactly. So again, it's uncertainty. We're at a crossroad. We're in a dilemma. Perfect. We're at a crossroad. We don't know what to do. Maybe we need to take some time to reflect, to think about where we want maybe to take a business, where we want to go in our lives. Maybe we need to take some time to reflect, to take a break from the business, a break from what we want to do in life. Often we have this when a lot of us come to a certain age. We talk about the midlife crisis. We talk about when we come to a certain age where maybe we've been doing a job for many years. And you come to a crossroad, you think, do I want to do this anymore? Is it time to change? But I don't know what to do. Well, a choice has to be made, Jason, absolutely. And you think, you come to a point and you think, I need to make a decision, but I really don't know what decision to take, what decision to make. You can use either. And so, yeah, so I'm at a crossroads. I don't know what to do. And so sometimes you need guidance. Sometimes you just need time. Maybe something will happen that will help you decide. Some people get worried. Some people think maybe it's a good time to think about what to do. You know, I came at a crossroads. I came at crossroads when, after my illness, I went back to work, and this was my previous career, and I was at a crossroads. I really didn't know, do I want to continue? Do I want to go down this road again? Or do I want to take a different route? And you think about it, you don't know what to do because there's so much uncertainty. It's a leap in the dark. You don't know what's there. But you think, so you have to reflect, but what is my reality now? Is my reality okay? Can I live with it? Or is my reality, no, I'm not prepared to continue this way. I really need to make a change. So you're at that crossroad and it's uncertain, but you have to balance that situation. So there we are. I don't know, are any of you at a crossroad in your life? Have you ever been at a crossroads? What was the decision you made? Rosie is saying it can be positive to be forced to decide to change. Absolutely. And I am a living example of that, because for many years I wanted to change, but I didn't know what to do. I was scared to make that uncertain. I didn't want to take that leap in the dark. I didn't want to. I was too scared. But sometimes there comes a point in your life where you come to a crossroad, and then you think you are at a crossroad and you think, I need to make that change. And that change can be fantastic. More often than not, it is a positive change. And then you start looking down that road. Sometimes change is not necessarily good, but then again, you have to make another change. But that, I think, is what makes life so interesting. It makes life also very scary. So, gosh, it's a very philosophical class today. But that's what change and uncertainty is all about, isn't it? It's a lot of philosophy. It's a lot of rethinking the way we've done things and making those decisions. Okay. Just as you're at a crossroad, de flexibilidad in Spanish. Right, thank you. Me punto de de inflexibilidad. So you're at a crossroad and you don't know where to go. Great. Now, just as you're in crossroads, this uncertainty is you are in uncharted territory or uncharted waters. This is a metaphor to do with navigation. If you think about the sea, you're going into uncharted territory. If you think about all the great sailors, when they went out to discover America, they went out, you know, the Portuguese, the Spaniards, the English going out to, they went out, and it's uncharted. The chart comes from the map. So looking behind me, this map, you know, you needed big navigation, big sailors, big, you know, people with vision going out to chart the world, to create the big charts, the maps. So uncharted territory. Now, if it's uncharted, you don't know what you're going to discover. So I'm in uncharted territory. We're in uncharted waters. We don't know. We have never tried it before. So it's very uncertain. We don't know what's going on. So in business, you could be in uncharted waters. We've never tried it. We've never experimented with this particular model, with this particular product, or with this particular market. So maybe you, as a company, you've decided to go into a different market. It's uncharted territory. You've never explored it. Excuse me, you don't know what it's going to be like. But you're in uncharted territory, uncharted waters, but you're out there, you're going to try it. But it's uncertain. And who knows what you're going to discover? Absolutely, Gabriela, it's an unknown situation. Excuse me. I've got a bit of a dry cough. Exactly, so we're in uncharted territory, uncharted waters. We've never tried this. So, Brexit. We're in uncharted waters. We don't know what's going to happen. We're in a period of uncertainty. We've never tried this. We've never experimented. It could go well. It could go badly wrong. Who knows? So there you go. Have you ever been in uncharted territory, uncharted waters? And so we'll see that often in business. Okay, so you're in uncharted territories, you're in uncharted waters. Then sometimes you have made a change. So you say, for example, you're a business, you've made that change, and then that change, that direction isn't the right direction. Now, we said we can't turn the clock back, and you can't. You can't go back to the previous thing, but what you can do is change your plan. You can change your plan. So you can go back to the drawing board and start again. So you can go back. You can't change time, but you can go back to the drawing board. So it's go back to the drawing board. I'm writing that down in the chat box, to go back to the drawing board. So you imagine an architect, you imagine a draftsman, a surveyor. You're drawing out your picture, your plan. You take that plan, you start with it, and then you find that it's not really working. So what you have to do, you have to go back to the drawing board. Or maybe you're in a brainstorming, you're in a project, you're all together, you're working something out, and you think, no, this is not going to work. You've brainstormed, you've discussed it, and then you realize, no, it's not going to work. Okay, guys, let's go back to the drawing board. Let's start again. Let's start brainstorming again, because we need to do this again. So let's change everything we've just done and start. Exactly. Going back to the drawing board. Start again. Revise the plan. Go back. So let's go back to the drawing board. Guys, you're doing really well here. Fantastic. Excellent. So that is business idiom number 9. So we're doing really well, folks. So that's going back to the drawing board. The final business idiom is new blood. We often talk about new blood. And what do we mean by new blood in business? We need new blood in this organization. Yeah, we need new blood. What do we mean by new blood? What are we talking about? Yeah, in a good organization, a company has been functioning a certain way, management has been doing it the same way, and we just think, you know, if it's going to change, we need some new blood. But new blood in what sense? Updating what? Procedures? It's a bit more than that. We need new blood in this organization. We need new blood in this business. Not quite creating a new system. No, we need new people. Exactly, May. We need new people. We need new people coming in with different ideas. New changes, yes, but when we talk about new blood, imagine who's got blood? We have blood. So we're talking about people. Whether it's younger people, whether it's a different perspective. So new blood means people coming in with a different perspective. Yeah, we need new blood in the government. We need new blood in this company. Yeah, because obviously the people who've been here, they've been doing things in the same way every year, every time. Nothing is going to change. We need change. We need new blood, new people coming in, whether it's younger, whether it's people with different experience, a different perspective to see it. Maybe they're qualified, but they could be qualified, or they could be people who have got a different perspective. I was talking to another client yesterday. I was helping her because she had an important job interview today with the military. Now, but she doesn't have a military background. She has a civilian background. But what she was going to be talking about is that she is bringing in new blood into the military because it is bringing in a different perspective, a new perspective in the way the military has operated. So you need new blood. You need new people with new ideas to come in. So new blood refers to people, not new systems. The people will bring in ideas for new systems. So that's what we refer to when we talk about new blood. So fantastic, guys. So that was 10 business idioms. So let's recap these 10 business idioms. Can you remember what they were? Can you tell me before I tell you what it is? I'm hoping you made lots of notes in this lesson. Let's see what you all did. So number 1, what was number 1's business idiom? Anyone? Hands up. Oh, I'm going to pick on people now. Anyone come up with the business idiom number 1? What did we have? Number 1 was to vote with your feet. Yeah, to vote with your feet. You don't like something, you vote with your feet and you make the change. Number 2 was your wake-up call. The wake-up call is that warning, is that alert. Yeah, what you've been doing, people don't want it anymore. So maybe they make a decision and you think, wow, that was a wake-up call for us. I didn't see that coming. Wow, okay, so we really have to make some changes here. Number 3, once you've done it, you can't turn the clock back. Turn back the clock, you can't turn back the clock. What's done is done. Decision made. Now you can't turn back the clock because time goes forward, it doesn't go back. Moving the goalposts. Hey, if you keep moving the goalposts, people can't focus. People can't achieve what they want. You can't keep changing everything. You need to focus. Stay on one. But if you keep changing too often, it's also not going to work. It's going to work against you. Number 5, business idiom number 5, that you're going to jump in the dark, that leap in the dark, that leap into the unknown, into the abyss. A leap in the dark, who knows, it's uncertainty. Fantastic, exactly, Keiko, a leap in the dark. Number 6, it's all up in the air. Yeah, it's all up in the air. Who knows what's going to happen? So what's been happening on that project? What's happening? Oh, I don't know. It's all up in the air. I give up. I don't know. They're not coming up with the decisions. They're not telling us. It's all just very uncertain. Then you have what have we got? We're at a crossroads. Yeah, your life has been going one way and then suddenly you come to a crossroad. Where are you going to turn? Which direction are you going to go? In your life, in your business, you come to that point, you have to make a decision. To be at a crossroads, yes. Number 8, think about the ships, think about navigation, think about what do we do. Look at the back. What have I got at the back here? I have a map. So it's uncharted territory, uncharted waters. It's all uncertain. We don't know where we're going into uncharted waters. Who knows? It could be a success, it could be a failure. But if we don't try, we will never know. So, yeah, uncharted territory, uncharted waters. So the metaphor is all to do with shipping, with navigation. Okay, now number 9, business idiom has to do with architects, drawing, yeah, draftsmen, surveyors. So, not good. We've been working on this. Not really good. It's not working. It's not getting to what we want. So we need to go back to the drawing board. Go back and start again. Right, let's brainstorm again. Let's have a brainstorming session. It's just not going the way we want. Go back to the drawing board. Let's start again. Let's make a change. And finally, number 10, yeah, the business is not going the way it do because the people is the old management. So what we need is new blood. We need new people in, a different perspective, a new perspective, a fresh perspective into our business, because that's important. We need a change. We can't keep doing the same thing every single time. So we need new blood. So that will bring us fresh perspective. They could be more qualified or they could just have a different view. And a different view is often a good one. Some people are very resistant to change, but that's what is needed. Folks, that was great. Thank you so much. I think that was a very good hour well spent talking about change and uncertainty. Now you've got all these 10. I will share with you the post that I wrote. Going back to the drawing board, not the point, the drawing board, Gabriela. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Let me know, give me a thumbs up. And don't forget, if you want more lessons, then have a look at, do sign up and join the EWAT community, because there's so much more that we can do together as a community. May, thank you so much. I'm so glad you loved the class. And Kareem, thank you so much. And Osama, I'm glad you liked it. Keiko, thank you very much for your participation and contribution to this class. So I will be sharing with you that post that I wrote last year, so you have a list of those idioms. But what I want you to do is have a look at the next time you're reading, the next time you're listening or doing something in business, to see where these business idioms are used and how they're used, and then try and see in the context in which they're doing. That way you have an idea and it has more meaning for you in terms of how these business idioms are used for change and uncertainty. So thank you so much for joining me here. Next week, 12th of July, we're going to have another lesson. It will be lesson 30, another milestone for Wednesdays with EWAT. Now, folks, next week, I want to have a different topic. This time, I want your collaboration. I want your contribution. Next week, I'm going to cover, again, another topic which I've done before, which are confusing words. But this time, I'd like you to let me know what words you find confusing in a business context. What words you often, when you're writing, when you're communicating with people, you get confused. Do I use this word or do I use that word? Share with me. I have some ideas, but if you don't tell me, then, because there'll be plenty more. Tell me, and I will put together a lesson with confusing words. So share with me, and then I will make a lesson out of it, so that then it will make it clearer for you. But here's the thing, I would like those confusing words, send it to me here on the Facebook page in the message, and I'll pick up all the messages, And yes, there can be false friends, particularly if you're a Spanish speaker. I understand from what you said, you're a Spanish speaker, false friends, confusing words, whatever confuses you. And I will then tell you whether it's a false friend or whether it's a confusing word. So share that with me and I'll pick a few and I will create the lesson around those. And so let's look at that. Next week's lesson, 12th of July, 3 o'clock British summertime, will be all about confusing words. So I'd like you all to tell me. And then we will do that. Yes, Osama, interesting. Conversation classes. Well, yes, let's talk about that because that's something that I'm going to be doing in the autumn. I'm going to be introducing some conversation programs, but they are going to be a special program for small groups. So I will talk to you more about that in the future, in the next few lessons. In the meantime, this is me, Shanti Kumaraswamy Street from English with a Twist, EWAT, saying ciao for now. Don't forget to sign up and join the community, the EWAT community. And by signing up on the Facebook page, you will see where you can sign up, join it, and because there's so much more we can be learning together. And sharing is caring, and sharing empowers you more. So take care for now, guys. I hope you have a wonderful week. See you next Wednesday for the lesson on confusing words. So don't forget, as you're thinking about it, drop me a line in the message on Facebook. I will make a note of them and I will share them with you next week's class. Ciao for now, folks. Take care.